In this video, we explore a story that has fascinated investigators, conspiracy theorists, and the general public for over 50 years. The mysterious hijacking of Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 by a man known only as D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, a man in his mid-40s, dressed in a dark suit, white shirt, and a black tie, purchased a one-way ticket for $20. He used the name Dan Cooper, but that's just the beginning of the story. Let's go back to that fateful day and piece together what happened. Flight 305 was a short 30-minute trip from Portland to Seattle. There were 36 passengers and 6 crew members on board. Dan Cooper took seat 18C, lit a cigarette, yes, you could smoke on planes back then, and ordered a bourbon and a soda. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schnaffer. At first, she thought it was just another passenger hitting on her. She slipped the note back into her pocket without reading it, but Cooper leaned in and quietly said, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I want you to sit beside me." When Schnaffer hesitated, Cooper calmly opened his briefcase, revealing a tangle of wires, red cylinders, and a battery. Convinced it was real, she alerted the cockpit. Cooper handed over his demands: $200,000 in unmarked bills, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport to refuel the plane. To ensure the safety of the passengers, the crew complied. The pilot contacted air traffic control, who relayed the message to the FBI. While the plane circled over Puget Sound for 2 hours to give authorities time to gather the ransom and parachutes, Cooper remained calm. Flight attendant Tina McClough later described him as polite and composed. He even paid for his drinks and offered to request meals for the crew. The passengers had no idea what was unfolding. To them, it was just a routine delay. Meanwhile, on the ground, the FBI scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. At 5:39 p.m., the plane landed in Seattle. Cooper allowed the 36 passengers to disembark in exchange for the money and parachutes. He kept the flight crew and 2 flight attendants on board. Once his demands were met, Cooper revealed his plan. He ordered the pilots to fly to Mexico City, but with specific instructions: fly at 10,000 feet, keep the landing gear down, and maintain a speed of no more than 200 knots. He also insisted on keeping the rear staircase of the Boeing 727 deployed during the flight. At 7:40 p.m., Flight 305 took off again. Cooper sat alone in the cabin, tying the ransom money into a backpack. At 8 p.m., somewhere over the dense forest of the southwestern Washington, Cooper did the unthinkable. In the pitch-black night, with rain and strong winds, Cooper opened the rear staircase of the plane. The flight crew felt a sudden change in air pressure, and they knew he had jumped. Wearing a suit, loafers, and a parachute, Cooper leapt into the stormy night with $200,000 strapped to his back. The plane continued to Reno, Nevada, where the crew landed safely. Cooper, however, had disappeared into the wilderness. The FBI immediately launched a massive manhunt. They searched the forests of Washington and Oregon, using helicopters, ground teams, and even local volunteers. But no trace of Cooper or the money was found. The case, codenamed Norjack, became one of the largest investigations in U.S. history. Agents interviewed hundreds of people, tracked leads across the country, and compiled a list of suspects. But every lead seemed to hit a dead end. In 1980, a break in the case seemed to emerge. A young boy, Brian Ingram, found $5,800 in the decomposing $20 bills along the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, but the discovery only deepened the mystery. How did the money end up there, and where was the rest of it? Over the decades, hundreds of theories about D.B. Cooper's identity and fate have emerged. Some believe he didn't survive the jump, succumbing to the harsh conditions. Others argue he was an experienced skydiver who meticulously planned his escape. Suspects have ranged from military veterans to rogue businessmen. One of the most famous suspects, Richard Floyd McCoy, carried out a similar hijacking months later, but was ruled out due to physical differences. Another theory, Cooper may have been a woman in disguise, or even part of a larger conspiracy involving airline insiders. To this day, the identity of D.B. Cooper remains one of the greatest mysteries in American history. The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, but enthusiasts continue to dig into the details, hoping to uncover the truth. Was Cooper a criminal mastermind or simply lucky? Did he survive the jump, or does his body lie hidden somewhere in the Pacific Northwest? The mystery of D.B. Cooper endures, not just because of what he did, but because of what he represents, the allure of the unknown and the human fascination with the perfect crime. Perhaps Cooper's greatest trick wasn't the jump or the heist itself, but disappearing so completely that he became a legend.